This says rotate device. Looks like I'm going. Okay, looks like I'm going live, but I don't know why my phone says rotate the device. But I'm gonna keep going here. So Epiphany I had about getting so closer here. Thinking about Domino. And what's up if you're checking my channel? This is Renergy. I've been very busy working, so anyway, I want to get here and just break down some kind of ways I see things. And I'm into philosophy and stuff, so I'm into learning. So that's usually what I'm doing. So I'm not on this channel all the time, but I like to develop more quality in some of the stuff I'm putting down, and maybe build with people who are interested in learning the kind of things I'm into. And I've been fascinated with learning, kind of cutting through the matrix and understanding certain things, and seeing patterns, and in the word patterns, and English is like the angel language in this new world. It's a combination of different languages. And they say there's like language within the language, and there's words that have different meanings, and then people talk about etymology, and I got a book on symbolism. It's interesting, but I've seen so much more things through my own third eye, through just patterning and things that just light up. Um, you know, so I'm gonna dive into this right here, what I'm talking about, and and patterns. You have tap turns. And one thing that I heard Dr. Sebi say is that words are artificial, which is true. And what we do is relate. Words relate. And so anyway, I'm going to dive into the 369 and the Holy Trinity, and how that kind of goes into the domino effect. And in domino, you have odd, and you have MINO. If you look at a sperm or whatever, it's one sperm that, like, fertilizes the egg, which is two ovaries. And then you have like a trinity right there, actually, which I'm going to get into. But MINO, you got MNO, MNO, you got LMNO in the middle, which sounds like MINO, which also sounds like riddle in the middle. I'm going to get into this because when you get into the middle and how words kind of, you have patterns, which is, remember, tap turns, because you got different ways of viewing things, where things light up, either through sound, it's, I guess, frequency. It's the only way I can describe it, where things make sense, because also things can be convoluted and all different types of whatever. So even that knots up in my head, just thinking about all the stuff. Or just thinking about what makes sense is the only thing that makes sense. And just like patterns, tap turns, like James Brown said on the good foot, because we lower our center of gravity and always pivot on your best foot. We always have just like inhale, exhale, or whatever. So with MINO and middle, we talk about N light N. When you look at N light N, you get M. When when you combine the sound of M and N, you get M, which is you get the middle. You get M. Mr. and Mrs. Anyway, you get M. Just like LMNO, antelope. What do you call it? They man and woman. Envelope. You get envelope. Sounds like LMNO. And they envelop. They whatchamacallit. Anyway. I can't think of the word right now. It's another word for procreate. And like that sounds like lightning too. Anyway, lightning. But back to that, the odd minnow, and again into the Adam and the Eve. This gets into just because we're getting into Omni and the money serpent. The money serpent is omnipresent energy that's being manipulated. Obviously, language is one way that, man, I hope this is recording here. So, yeah, cool. Looks like it is. So, that's one way that language is being manipulated, where you can decode this stuff. And so, like the word Lucifer, you see LU cipher. And so the M and the N in the middle, we see these two, right? In the middle. So stay with me here. Watt is electricity. You can look at two, like toe, and not like toe like your foot, which has E, toe with a W, which is kind of like the M, right? I'm going to get into that in a second. And you see OdEN and all this other stuff in the den, center, like center gravity on the good foot, how I do with the mind, because the mind is like wind. That's why that's the way I do this. I like silver surf this shit. Remind, rewind. To remind is to rewind. So now it's a full moon, right? So I'm going to get into the full, the pool, the loose cipher. And the LU, we get the 3-3, because L is 12, which is 3. U is 21. That's another thing I'm going to get into here. The Trinity. Which is also, you could also break that down to a 6. And the unique thing about the 6, it's the one number that has 369 right in it, but from 3 different viewpoints. Because if you write 6, you see the word 6 as it's spelled. You see the Roman numeral 9. and it's also, you see, it's a 3-letter word. So I'm going to get into that, how things roll out, and that breaks down to the 2, which the 2 is the toe, because the toe is the 1, which you get into the Y. When you get into the 1, we're dealing, you'll get a Neo and all that. What I see is Adam's rib, and I also see that as and, because when you look at Adam and Eve, when you look at the symbol, it's like the 8, illuminate, whatever. But you have that slice in the middle, so it's like the and, because we have this omnipresent. And I heard Yuji Krishnamurti say that. Anyway, he said, like we don't know when we're born, we don't know when we're dead. All there is thought. And so we get a thought. We also get into tick tock on the clock. Think thought. And I just want to connect the dots, because getting into the Lucifer in the Bible, we're dealing with 2 with the bi, and then we're dealing with the bull. Bull is also pole. So if you look at like per pole, you could look at that like per, like the energy of the cat, right? Like your per pose, your right. That's red and the blue, right? The per, and you got the pull. You got the bi, bull. We got the L and the U in the middle. But I don't want to get lost in the thought there. I don't have my notes on that stuff. I'm just flowing right here. But when you get into that, when you get into parables, you pair a bull, which is by bull, and in the Bible, Cain killed a bull. Oh, actually, you can look at it like this. I think it's K or C. Cain murdered. You see red, A, blue. Okay, so what does this mean? I don't really know. I just see this stuff. Damn. Take a breather for a second. So when we look into the middle of the alphabet with the M and the N, just like life beats from your heart. That's the first part of the frequency, right? Your heartbeat. We see these 2 V's right in the heart symbol, and then we see this, which is also kind of like the twisted 8. And I'm going to get into that, where the 5-finger being. So yeah, so we get the 3 triangles. So into the Trinity. So in the earlier cave paintings, they had like the hashtag. They had certain symbols. Anyway, I'll get into that. But you also have light and shadow as part of the omnipresent. And then you can see in the word two. Hang on. You got one, which is a 3-letter word. Two, which is a 3-letter word. And then three, which is a 4-letter word. And then the 4, you get the roof and the floor and the floor, along the floor and the fauna. And you get this pattern with the 4 and the 5, where you also get the Trinity. And that's what I'm going to get into right here. And I'm so glad I remember that. So I see this as one seen, one not seen, and you get the the triangle symbol. I think rose is hocus pocus. We're dealing with focus. You also see officius or fucius, whatever in there, which is a play on the F, which is a 6. And then when you add the 8 and the 9, that's hang on. If I'm saying that right. H is 8, P is seven, right? 15, which is 6, which is F is 6. Anyway, my math is correct here. So anyway, these should both add 15, which is 6. F is 6. So hocus pocus is a play on 6. It's how things move forward. And you got the O, that full O, forward. So with the triple crown too, you know, these symbols with Trinity. With the Trinity, if you look at the word Trinity, you get three syllables. And if you look at the words, T just sounds like T. You could write it how it sounds. A tree is 3, Ni is in, T is 2, 20 equals 2. So 3 and 2. And 2 is the 3-letter word. And you're spelling it like the number. Into. That makes me think about into, what you get into. And we look at the M and the N is usually hid. If you look at the word hidden, it's like hide N. And I feel that's what the M, this is play with the M and the N. So that's what is getting me into this here. When you look at mirror, like at the reflection of the alphabet in the center, where they say this thing emanates like these patterns, right? So one thing I noticed, just like if you look at the word onion, like that. There you go. There's the mirror reflection. If you write up and down with the end is the same. It's not flipped that way. If you were to stamp it, like fold this in half and stamp that sucker, onion, it would come out spelled exactly the same. So I'm going to get into that. So I don't want to lose this on the mirror part, because that's going to bring me into peels, onion peels, which also you see sleep. And then sleep, we got the triple Z's. So you got the Trinity with the triple Z's. I'm going to get into that. So when you look at triple A, let me get into that too. With the M and the N, remember Jesus walked in water. Moses did something else with water with his staff, but anyway. So N would be exactly the same. However, if you stamp it, look at the opposite. This is the one that's different. So W is the 23rd letter, which is a 5. N is 14, which is a 5. 5. M is 13. So you get that 13, that the mysterious 13 with that rib from Adam. Anyway, that's the 4. So anyway, but you see the Trinity in the triple 5, which is also a 15, which is a 6. It's another way I'm decoding this abracadabra here. You know, Nemo is the fish. When the fish is the 6, the 6 is fish, is F. F is the 6th letter ish. Fish. 6. So now with the fish, you got Ishtar. So you have the fish Ishtar. So with the fish Ishtar, we see finish, and start. Because remember, N is hidden. There's other patterns that are it's not just necessarily one, you know, there's wordplay, there's plays with patterns that reveal themselves. So you got finish, start. So with the Adam and Eve, we got add M. We also see add M. And then in Eve, because N is hidden, now N is 14, which equals 5, and Eve 5, 4, 5 equals 9 and 5, 14, 5, right? So you got 5 there, and V is the Roman numeral for 5 in the center. It's Eve, you're dealing with that 3, and Eve even sounds like 3, somewhat. Remember, things emanate, so it's easy to look at a lot of connections there, like 3 to 5 equal to 8 and the emanate, but that gets me kind of lost in the sauce, because what I really see is Adam and Even with the rib. Now the rib takes me back to where I started talking about the domino and domino effect, how when we're born, I think about the odd minnow and cyclops. You can also see cycle odds. flipping the P to the D, whatever, you know what I mean? With the one eye. Eraser. Man, I hope this is recording. Looks like it's recording. All right, cool. If you're digging this, hit me up. I'll definitely respond to you. Anyway, cool. This gets people interested in my channel. So when we're born, Domino, MINO, the sperm, or whatever, MINO, OdEN, whatever it's. So somehow we're getting the Adam and Eve. But so with the rib, when a baby's born, they get a crib. See rib right there. Maybe I should say C rib. You can see rib. Well, with the omnipresent, you know, dealing with, you could see the Adam's rib. You could also see that there's the serpent, omnipresent money serpent. You can see the yin yang. And you know, that could be another way of viewing the staff, Moses' staff or whatever. And you could also look at that through different perspectives, because if you look at that through different viewpoints, it changes dimensions and potential frequencies. So when you go from the 1, 2, remember it's actually 0, 1, 2. So we see 3 and the 2 again. 0, 1, 2. And if you write it that way, that reveals itself. Just has like N5 in the old money stacking ways. Like, what is this? You can't get this in a book. The stuff that I'm showing, you can see the N right here. Remember I said it sounds like LMNO sounds like envelope in the middle, and you could like look at the Gmail symbol and how the M kind of takes on the N. And in that way of writing the 5, the oldest way, you can see with the money, with the stacks, whatever, you can see the N, and then 5 is a 4-letter word. I'm going to get into that, the different patterning viewpoints. So, with Adam and Eve, we left the Garden of Eden. And then in Eden, we also see need. So let's say need and Eden. You can say need like bread. It's a need. Oh, so when we get to the MNO, also the Minotaur, talking the bulls and the poles, like the earliest Greek story comes from the Minotaur, right? Dealing with the bulls, story of the Olympics and all that. So, damn, is somebody tuning into my thing? Might get back on this. This is just a go at this. I hope this is coming out. And yeah, I'm sure my energy will pick up as I see that I'm getting this thing down. Anyway, I'm sure I got a lot more light to shine on these topics. So peace out to the next Rena G. I know there's more I want to talk about too. Okay, so you go with garden. G is the ghost letter, and we're dealing with the OdEN, which is the vibration. We also see dragon. You spell like that with the E. It still sounds the same. Spell like that. Dragon and garden. And then we're also dealing with omnipresent, with the money serpent, or what we call the money serpent. The words are artificial, but wow, man, it's cool to decode this stuff. So also with the drag N, we're also dealing with dragging the N. So remember I talked about toe. It's two. With those upside down ends. Also looked at as watt, water. Okay, so anyway, Adam gave his rib to Eve. Then, God, I gotta get to my notes on that one. I know I got a lot of stuff to open up on. I don't want to go half-fast from my shooting from the hip. So I really like to build with people into this stuff because I like to cycle my energy because I'll talk myself to sleep here to just feel a pulse on what I'm doing. But if you're feeling this, give me a thumbs up and I'll definitely come back. All right, one love.